Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate. We are here with Jasmine Willois of the No Systems program. Let's recap really quickly the opportunity that we've been talking about, right? Let's put it into terms that we can, everybody could understand. If you own a mortgage, or anyone that you know that owns a mortgage, go ahead and ask them, have you ever received a letter in the mail saying that, hey, you pay this person now? That's us. That is what we do, right? So that's the kind of resources and opportunities you'll get at this program. And on this show is we're going to teach you what it's going to take, what it's going to require for you to jump into the shoes of the bank and take that on.
Right, and a lot of you out there are listening, you actually have a home that you purchased, and it's come along with a mortgage. So you have a mortgage, and you've gotten that letter in the mail from your servicer saying, please send your payments elsewhere. That is to us and our investors, and majority of that you should feel comfortable is going into a lot of retirement accounts. And that's one of the things that we want to talk about here, and the reason why we've got Harrison here on the Real Men of Real Estate, to make sure that you guys understand how we can eventually get a real symbiotic relationship between the borrowers and the banks, right? At this point, a lot of you guys get that letter in the mail sending you send your payments elsewhere, and you get a little startled, right? A little shook and a little concerned, especially if it happens back to back to back to back. Some of you guys get downright tired of that, right? What if you understood what was going on? What if you understood there was an investor taking control of that and putting into their retirement account, right? What if you understood that this was going to benefit another fellow American every time that you made your mortgage payment and not just go into the hands of another greedy bank, right? And so these are the things that we are striving here from just a macroeconomic level to make sure that we can have that impact on the banking community as a whole, making sure that we all, it's just a matter of understanding, I find. A lot of times it's a matter of understanding. So part of that understanding is what we strive to give you, and there are many resources that Harrison gives you when you join our program, and I'd love for him to tell you about some of the resources that he gives you so you can step into the shoes of the bank and feel comfortable that you will survive.
Absolutely. I mean, first off, we have the podcast, right? The Naked Notes podcast from episode 1, season 1, episode 1. It starts off with what is a note? Very basics. As you listen onwards, it gets more and more complex, and we're going on 7 seasons now, I think.
Yeah, over 100 episodes. Jeez. It's bananas.
It's a lot of information there. Great opportunity to kind of get immersed in there. If you would like to get involved with the community, and one of the things that I like to tell people is like, hey, don't just listen to me, right? Come and take it from other note investors and other members in our community as well. The Nationwide Note Buyers, NAP Nation, on meetup.com. You can find our
Great
monthly
resource.
Networking meetings like Coffee and Notes that we do every
first
Saturday
of every
of the month.
Yeah. And that's a huge opportunity for you guys to just kind of jump in on a Zoom and hang out with the community and actually people are doing on an everyday basis. Another unique thing about what Harrison does is that he's teaching you from a place of which he is currently investing. It was just yesterday that he received another check on another note out of California, if I understand correctly, right? So he'll definitely, hopefully, share some of these experiences and the examples with you throughout this show. But realistically, the fact is that this is a gentleman who is really here to grow his own financial position and at the same time teach and take as many of you with him along the way. So some of the skills that he uses in doing that, some of the resources are...
So, I mean, first of all, the training program is the number one thing that we have at NAP Nation, or the No Systems program. We take you through, I personally teach that now. So we take you through everything. What is a note? We have 3 phases all the way to the close of your first note. It's my job to help you get a note. It is not over until you get a note and we close on it. That's how committed we are.
Yeah, and one of the things is that we have these meetings on a regular basis, quarterly, and we talk about why we're here, right? We're not here to collect a check. We collect checks from notes. So the fact is that when you join the program, yes, we get residuals from that because that's part of paying us to show up to do that. But we're really doing this here to make sure that you are able to get your first note because you can't make money off a note without buying a note, right? So
exactly.
That's one of the things I think is the most important about what we do here. We're not a tire-kicking place. If you need more time to find out if this is a place for you, then check out the podcast. There are plenty of books out there that we recommend. You'll find out a lot about that during our open to the public meetings. Like you said, we have 2 a month, the Coffee and Notes and the Lunch and Learn. So stop by at any point. They're free. find Harrison on LinkedIn, if I understand correctly.
Absolutely. LinkedIn, just Harrison Silverstein. You can look me up. Note Assistance Program on LinkedIn. You'll find all of us. But most importantly, I want to kind of dispel, like, I'm not unique, right? The only thing that I have done is just take action, right? I saw the opportunity that was in front of me. I did the due diligence on it. And then
I will
executed.
admit, I will say the one thing that was unique to what you did is not, besides take action, is you actually stood to the checklist. You
Right.
actually went through the process before you deviated. And that is, albeit hard for some of us, even myself, but I do know that even myself, people like myself, I've gotten better if there's a process in place. So that's one of the things I've noticed that you've done very well.
Absolutely. And I mean, even for me, like, everybody has their own pace of learning as well. And we customize the training experience to your pace. I mean, it took me a year to get my first note. And
Yes,
that
it
was
did.
not due to any lack of trying. It was just something that I had to get used to. We had to think of things from a bank perspective instead of
Confidence
a,
building.
traditional real estate perspective, right? So there's definitely, the whole process of building your confidence in your due diligence and what you find.
Half the time, the things that Harrison tells you to do from our process, you're going to say, I can do that, right? And so just getting used to the fact that you are now, again, in that shoes, in the position of a bank, and the things that you can do and the good that you can cause. Really, sometimes it's just mind-boggling and holds people back just from taking that first step. But we're here to help you do that. One of the things I can tell you about working with Harrison is that when you join the program, we want you to buy a note. So it's almost like making you eat your broccoli. We talk about that a lot here, right? You are like we bring you in, and if you haven't purchased a note before, we really want to hold your hand as if you were our child. And sometimes it's like, hey, it's time to get that note. It's time to eat that broccoli because we know that this is going to make you better and stronger financially, as well as just the confidence that you have when you walk into the room.
Exactly. And I mean, we've been even improving upon that throughout, we have members only meetings, Scrape the Tape Tuesday. We go through due diligence. And one of the most unique things about our community, I think, that's worth bringing up is we're like in coopetition with each other, right? We obviously are kind of looking at the same inventory, but we don't have a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
There's plenty to go around. Whenever someone buys a note that a lot of people are looking at, Texas and, all these styles of places, we're always, hey, let me know what happens. We all want to know what happens to that note, and we're all invested in each other's success.
And sometimes quite literally with the joint venture opportunities that take place here. So one of the things that we want to make sure that you guys understand about this mortgage note investing opportunity and what this particular segment of the Real Men of Real Estate is going to bring to you is we're going to bring you live and current examples of notes that are being taken down that are available, where to get involved with not only this community but other communities, and where to find notes. One of the hardest things to do here is, now that you know about this opportunity, how do you get involved and how do you get that consistent access and inventory? So there are plenty of platforms out there for you to go to. One of the things that we want you to pay most close attention to is make sure you have the resources that come along with that, right? It's one thing to, now you found a note, how are you going to make sure you get out of it alive, right? And a lot of times what you're buying, especially at this level, if you're buying 1, 2, 3, 5 notes, anything less than $50 million in notes, which is what the standard fund has to buy from a bank, anything less than $50 million, then you literally and figuratively are down here at the bottom part and having to deal with a lot of these things on your own, right? You don't have those bigger vendors working for you. So in order to survive, you definitely need to be part of a community, and that's one of the things that we would recommend for sure.
Absolutely. And, one of the great things about our program as well is, we don't train, the training program isn't to be dependent on Gnosis program at all. When you take our training program, you can go find a note from whatever source, and you'll know what you have to look for. You'll know the process that you have to go through to know if it's a good deal, if there's a red flag anywhere. So not only, I like to say that our members, they come for the training, they come for the inventory, because we have monthly inventory, but they stay for the community, for, the learning experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing rings truer than working with people that you like, right? And that's one of the things that we love here is that we have a community. We actually gather as much as possible to share in our successes. So please check out this radio show as much as possible to learn more about how you can be successful as well. This is an opportunity that should be taken advantage of, at least added to your portfolio.
Absolutely. And, throughout this program, we're going to continue, like Jasmine was saying, to provide real current examples of notes that are happening. Only the most relevant information that you can find today. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you like what you're hearing, you can give us a call at 855-541-6683 or email invest@noteassistanceprogram.com. It's been a magnificent opportunity here to have you all listening, and thank you, Jasmine, for being here as well. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me as your first guest, and I look forward to tuning in more and providing as many more resources. All you have to do is ask Harrison, let me know what you need, whether it's another example from our community or even a resource to introduce to your now radio community.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely have some more guests on. We'll have more live examples on.
And call in, right? You guys are welcome to call in with your question. If you own a note out there and you're looking to get some advice, give Harrison a call. He's well-rounded on that stuff.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely have many, many more. The Real Men of Real Estate, we're doing this every week. We will be back next month for our program. And it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much. You've been listening to KCAA Radio, International Wealth Builders, presented by the Real Men of Real Estate. Thank you so much.
Take care.